We just chill and have a conversation. We're gonna talk about a few things. So first off, um, we are recording this on the night of Monday, May 2nd, and we had a docket kind of prepared, but it's going to get a little altered a little bit because shortly before we began recording, there was a leak. The Supreme Court. This is an exclusive report from Politico, and I haven't had an opportunity to really read it in general. And Fred only knows about it because I sent him a message on it right before we started recording, literally right before we started. But apparently, uh, the Supreme Court, the United States Supreme Court, to be clear, which does have a 6-3 majority lead here for the conservatives. Um, Apparently, they've been talking back and forth to each other with how to overturn Roe v. Wade, which is abortion. I don't think, Fred, obviously we've talked plenty. We've known each other for a long time. I don't think we've ever had a conversation regarding abortion. So I don't know. I don't, if we have, I don't remember. But I don't know what your stance is on it at all.
Well, I'm not with it. Um, it's hard. You know what I'm saying? Like I got 7 kids, so shit. You should know I'm not with it. But I mean, I'm just being honest. But at the same time, there is situations where I think it's just, and I think there's also, situations where it's unjust. I think a lot of times we're looking from the outside and we're speculating on a person or a couple situation, and that is what I think is unfair. Like, I get, people are, pro-abortion and, vice versa. I mean, hell, you go down here in Louisville by the abortion clinic and they out there with the signs and they begging you not to. They telling you they'll, help you take care of it. They'll take it, and raise it, whatever. Just don't, go through with it. And those people don't know the people that's walking in them doors, from a can of paint. So my question would be, would you say the same thing to a person who was told, that if your child makes it through this pregnancy, then they're going to come out with, or come out and be brain dead, on half of one side and maybe a vegetable, their whole life? Would you still ask her to keep her child? You know what I mean? So what if, the situation may be where it's, told to the lady, hey, look, you're at high risk. And if you go through with this, you could lose your life. Or you could lose the baby, or both. Would you still tell her to keep it? You know what I mean? Because see, being high risk, there's still a chance for, you to have another child. It's not that you can't, but maybe it just ain't the right time and your body's not in the right state. Would you risk that situation? Because then, you would go to say that, well, yeah, I would give my life for my child. So then you tell your child to be raised, with no mother from day one. Well, that's a fucked up situation because that child ain't asked for that either. So, you know what I'm saying? Which way do you go with that? So, like I said, a lot of times I think it's just speculation, and I'm against, you know what I'm saying, abortion, but I still feel like there's scenarios and situations where, you know, that should still be the option on the table because you don't know what kind of risk you may be imposing on this person, all because your beliefs of them keeping a child is surface level for your own beliefs. And if that's the case, if it's about beliefs and what people feel or ideology, then that would be like, you know, a Catholic telling a Christian that, you know what I'm saying, they got to serve God in this manner, this way, or a Muslim, you know what I'm saying, telling atheists, you know, that they got to believe. Like, it, if that's the case, you know what I mean, you can impose that in any type of manner at that point. Because if we're going off beliefs, because that's all it really is one side believes this is, you know what I'm saying, should be the case, and this is how it should be, and the other side believes it shouldn't. And the only reason I even brought it to that type of perspective is because I've had family members that was really close to me that was put in that situation where their child would have came out brain dead, you know what I'm saying, possibly with Down syndrome if they made it, you know what I'm saying, full term. And it was putting the mom at high risk, you know, with high blood pressure and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? So it was still unsafe and unstable for her. So they told her, you know, it would be in the best option if you had an abortion, but they can't tell you what to do. But the risk and the complications to this is so high that, you know, they can't promise that it's just going to be hunky-dory at the end of the day.
Right.
So, you know, they chose to, you know, say have an abortion. And as they walking in, as people, no, please don't. We'll keep your child. You know, we'll take care of it. We'll pay you X amount not to do it. You know, please. And it's like, can you please get out of my way? Because this is hard enough to deal with as it is. Right. Because I want my child. But how can I put me and my child at risk? And on top of that, I got children at home that I'm still raising that now becomes at risk. And then turn around after she had the abortion, you know, time later, she still ended up being able to have another child. Healthy, no problems, no complications. It doesn't replace the other child, but at the same time, it was a better situation overall. So I'm not with abortion just for selfish reasons. You know what I'm saying? If you like, hey, I barely can take care of myself, well, why was you making dumb decisions? Now you're gonna have to boss up and be able to take care too. You know what I'm saying? That's what other people have to do. If I only did it to keep him, well, that was your mistake. You know, shouldn't have did it to keep him. So that's not a reason to give up your child because you was trying to keep him. You know, whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying? If it's selfish and it's null and void, I mean, I'm not with it. You know, or some people, well, I wanted a boy or I wanted a girl. Well, that's fucked up. You knew you couldn't pick when you started.
So the one thing I want to make sure that I clean up real quick before we go too far is that this link is this website, that this notification, it is a leak. This is not confirmed that the Supreme Court is planning to overturn Roe v. Wade. And quite honestly, by the time that this releases, we might have more information that confirms or denies otherwise. I just want to get that out there again on the record. I'm going to say that most people are like you and are like me, and they are pro-choice. Yeah, I think that we've gotten to a point really over the last 10 or 15 years. I feel like, I could be wrong, but I feel like over the last 10 or 15 years, we've gotten to the point where people are really understanding that they're what you're saying. People are having that there's so many various reasons that a woman may choose to abort a pregnancy, and that the harassment of it is not cool. To not have it there simply means that it's still going to happen, but it's going to happen in much more unsafe formats.
We'll go back to them old days.
Yeah, I mean, and I mean, I really don't know what I could add to that. I think that there's a stigma that women that have abortions are having sex in a way that is just that are being promiscuous. That's the term I want to use. I think that that's kind of the stigma that was around in early 2000s and the 90s and things of that nature. That women that had abortions, that they're using it as a get out of jail free card, and that shouldn't happen. And so the whole we could you could just put the baby up for adoption. There's all these resources you can help, and that's where I get mad, because I'm like, you say there's all these resources, but that can help people that have a child, but you actively complain about people that are getting help for different services because they're freeloaders for the government. And I'm being very generalistic when I say that right now. I know that doesn't match every single individual. I understand that, but I think that we all know the type of what we see, and I think I think to your point, Fred, you said it right. Those that are actively campaigning against it are ignoring science.
It's true. Like they're out there literally because they believe the world is flat, I guess. But you know what I mean? Like but it's in that manner, like it's just all viewpoints. You know what I mean? It's not anything they have to back it up on why or what, and the people they approach. I would like to see it, a more discreet manner for women to be able to have that done. Yeah. I guess there'd be a way to figure out the place, but I mean, to me, they should be able to go in peace, because you don't know what people are dealing with in that situation.
For sure.
So I mean, they need to. I don't know. It's hard to really say. I mean, I get, what I'm saying, they ignoring science, but to me, it's bigger than that, because something ain't just even science. You know what I'm saying? It's life and death. You know what I mean? You still gonna grieve. Like it ain't just no up, it's over with. You know what I mean? Like this.
Right.
So
I mean, at the end of the day, just mind your own damn business. And I need to add this in, because I'm gonna just be mad at myself if I don't add it in. So in late 2020, Ruth Bader Ginsburg died. And I remember telling somebody about this or having a conversation, and their response was a 4-letter word. Fuck. The reason their response was that way was because this is late 2020. This is before the election, but Donald Trump is still the president. Donald Trump nominated Amy Coney Barrett. The Senate very quickly rushed through her confirmation, and she became a Supreme Court justice. And that flipped the Supreme Court from a 5-4 conservatively to a 6-3 conservatively. And I don't care what you feel about your politics. I don't care if you're left, right, Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, whatever. I'm going to show you the impact of not voting. If Roe versus Wade is overturned, it's because of people not voting. But let me explain myself. In 2015, I believe late 2015, Justice, I forget his name, one of the Supreme Court justices passed. Barack Obama is still the president of the U.S. at that time. He nominated Merrick Garland to fill his seat for the Supreme Court. Mitch McConnell, who is the Senate leader at that time, says, we're going to just hold off until after the election before we do any Supreme Court nominations. This is an election year. We're not going to do this in an election year. At the same time, Donald Trump wins the election. Donald Trump, and this is all my opinion, Donald Trump wins the election because voter turnout is low. While, yes, Hillary Clinton does have the majority lead, the turnout is terrible. Donald Trump wins the correct states to become president. Donald Trump nominated 3, I believe, in his 4 years of being president. I believe he nominated 3 judges, or he nominated 3 judges to the Supreme Court between retirements and whatever else happened, which got the 5-4 lead for the conservatives. Well, it was 2, and then Ruth Bader Ginsburg died in the election year, closer to the election than what happened in 2015. And those same Republicans that said, we're not going to do anything, we're going to wait till after the election, quickly rushed through that confirmation and everything before the 2020 election. So however you feel about voting or not voting, you think it's not important. If you're not voting in your Senate elections, and this is a midterm year in the United States in 2022, a lot of your Congress seats are up. Your governor's seat is probably up this year. Your Senate seats, at least one of them is probably up. This is why that stuff is important. If you want somebody to turn over abortion, this is the election that's going to play a role in making it happen. If you want to make sure stuff doesn't happen, this is the election, more so than just the presidential election. These people that are running in the states that you're in that are not Michigan and that are not Kentucky, where Fred and I live. That's what it is. I just had to get that out there because
everybody should know that every 2-year election is the election to be voting in. The presidential one ain't really what it's cracked up to be. It's the smoke and mirrors.
And I've been thinking about this just over the last couple of weeks. I've been having a couple of conversations about politics and things of that nature. People get frustrated about the presidential election, but that's literally the only election that we have in this country that everybody participates in. First off, the only elections that you participate in that are that affect politics at a national level are the president, the Senate, and your Congress. Your Congress elections are based off the district that you live in.
Mm-hmm.
I should have that correct. Whatever. The Senate, your state sends 2 senators to the Capitol. That's 2 out of 100. So, like, for example, if you were wanting Joe Biden's Build Back Better plan to go through, Joe Manchin is the one that essentially shut that down. He in West Virginia. Ain't nothing you can do about that. The presidential election, we put that focus on it because it's the one election that all of us across this country, it's the one election that we all play a role in. So I don't want to diminish the importance of it, but understanding your laws, understanding how everything works together and nothing is above anything else, the way our law is designed to be, you got to pay attention to what's going on in the other spots as well. With regards to what you can't control. So I believe that alone. We'll see what's happening. We'll see if this leak is real. With the website like Politico running it, I would assume that they have very, very reliable sources. It's not, some rinky-dink website. Politico is a real deal media outlet here in the U.S. So this could be huge.